Hi guys, it's Mrs. Bartels. I'm going to get you going on chapter 6. I'm going to walk you through Schoology really quick. This is just my post today to my kids for this week. Miss Betty Jo and Miss Chrissy probably have posts for you too. It's basically saying that we're going to start chapter 6. Again, you're going to have daily folders to do. So if you're in class, like on Monday, we'll do that folder in class. But if you're not, you're responsible for doing it at home. And Schoology does let your instructor know if you did the folder or not, and that's how we'll be awarding report or giving points to you. So if you are not in class because it is not your day to attend CCD, make sure you're doing the daily folder, and I'm going to show you where you can find those. So again, if we go under materials and we go to module 2, which is right here, you'll see chapter 6 is listed. And it's going to have resources. Resources are your PowerPoints. I can click on it and show you what it'll be. It's going to be your PowerPoints. It's going to be guided notes if you'd like to do it. And then the tape lectures will go in here as well. Okay, so make sure you know that the tape lectures are there, because if you're not in class, you should be listening to the tape lecture. Okay, and I'm going to go back over here really quick. And then the work is for you guys every day what you need to do. So it will tell you, you'll see right now it's just your vocabulary packet, but Monday's assignment will be posted. And there will be nothing for Tuesday because Tuesday is a day off for election day. Wednesday will have an assignment, Thursday will have an assignment, and so will Friday. Remember, Wednesday is our remote day where you guys work from home. Okay, so each day you'll have some slides that you're responsible for doing, and you'll also have the tape lecture that you can listen to, and the pages of the book that you need to read. Okay, so I'm going to take you back really quick. On Wednesday, we will post the quizzes, homework for the chapter. So that'll be part of your Wednesday assignments. And if we go back really quick to the main screen here, you'll see, make sure you're doing your attendance every day in Schoology, every single day, whether you're in class or at home. We need the attendance done every day by 2 o'clock. So you'll see that posted there. The bed linen packet was what was given to you after you took your Module 1 exam. It is due coming up this week. And then this Chapter 6 vocabulary packet is a packet that you should start the first day we do Chapter 6, which is Monday, tomorrow, November 2nd, because I'm taping this on Sunday. Get going on your vocabulary packets. You should be doing a little bit each day. If you read the update from me, you would understand why. And I can read it to you guys really quick too. It says this chapter is filled with information is extremely relevant in becoming a nursing assistant. Medical terminology is covered at the end of the chapter. You will need to learn commonly used prefixes, suffixes, roots, abbreviation, and directional terms. There's a lot of vocab in this chapter. And then it goes on to say there's a vocabulary packet posted for each student to complete. That's over here. Okay. Do not wait to get started on this. We will have upcoming quizzes based on this information in this packet. So get going on it. Make sure you take the time to find out what each means and start to memorize them. Doing flashcards or index cards is a great idea. Okay, so make sure you get going on that, as well as doing your daily assignments. Okay, so I'm going to do the tape lecture right now for Monday, November 2nd, and that would be Chapter 6, and is slides 1 through 6, pages 52 through 53 in your book. All right, so I'm going to go on over to PowerPoints really quick. Okay, so here are the PowerPoints we are going to do. PowerPoints 1 through 6, which covers pages 52 through 53 of your book. If you have your book open, I will tell you what you need to highlight as we go along too. So this chapter is all about communication. Okay, it basically is telling us how we report, how we record, how we communicate in the medical profession, and certain words and terms, prefixes, suffixes, how we record in military time. It's a lot of basic information that you need to know to succeed in healthcare. Okay, communication. Communicating means just talking. It's exchanging information. However, it can also be, communication is not just verbal, it can be written as well. So communication is the exchange of information. Make sure you know that the communication is the exchange of information. That is on page 53. It also says on page 53, health team communication is needed for coordinating and health team communication is needed for coordinated and effective care. So we have to know how to communicate and communicate the proper way so our care is effective and it is coordinated well. Okay, so communication is very key in nursing. So again, the exchange of information is communication. And what that means is I send a message, it's received, and then once I say the message and you receive it or the patient receives it, they are to interpret it and understand it. Okay, so we have to be careful how we do that because everybody has a different educational status and everybody has a different way of communicating. So to have good communication, here are some things that we need to do. You need to use words that mean the same thing to you and the receiver of the message. Okay, so you need to use the words that they will understand. So if I'm talking to a 3-year-old and I say, and I want to ask them if they need to go to the bathroom, I might have to say to them, I wouldn't say, do you need to urinate? Because they don't know what the word urinate means. So I might say, do you need to go pee-pee? Because they're 3, even though I'm much older than that, but I'm communicating with a 3-year-old. Okay, instead of saying, I wouldn't say, do you need to have a bowel movement? Because they don't know what that means. I would say, do you need to go poo-poo? Okay, but again, that's because I'm dealing with a 3-year-old. We don't say that to an 85-year-old. Do you need to go pee-pee or poo-poo? No, we don't say that. We would say, do you need to use the bathroom? Do you need to pass your bowels? Do you need to urinate? For an older person, those are words that I can use and they would understand what they are. But for a young person, I cannot. So make sure you use the words that have the same meaning to you and the receiver of the message. You have to think. Sometimes your patients do not have a high education. Sometimes they are younger. Sometimes they have dementia and they cannot remember things. So you might have to talk at their level. Okay. Use familiar words. So using familiar words is kind of like I just explained to you. Okay. Be brief and concise. Do not go over and over and over and keep adding things to it. Brief and concise, meaning, do you need to go to the bathroom? It's a yes or no answer. But it's brief. It's easy for them to understand. Okay? So be brief, be concise. Do not give a lot of details. Give information in a logical and orderly manner. So here's an example of that. You go into a patient's room and you say, good morning. I'm Lori. I'm going to be your nursing assistant today. How are you feeling? They answer. And you say, I'm glad that you're feeling well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to help you get up and get dressed. So we can go to the dining room. Okay, so I simply told them the steps and the order that we're going to do it. I'm going to help you get up. I'm going to help you get dressed. And then we can go to the dining room to eat breakfast. Okay, logical, orderly manner. I didn't say, oh, we need to get you up and then we need to get you dressed and then we need to take you down to the dining room and then, oh, you have to go have breakfast. I didn't ramble on. It was concise. It was brief. Hello, my name is Lori. I'm your CNA. How are you feeling this morning? You're feeling good. That's great. What we need to do is I need to help get you dressed, and then we will go down to the dining room to have breakfast. Okay? Give facts and be specific is another thing that it says in the book. So, give facts and be specific. Reporting a pulse rate of 110 is more specific than saying the pulse is fast. So don't say the patient is hot. What does that mean? Okay? Instead, you could say the patient's temperature is 100.7. That is fact. That is specific. Okay? To say the patient has a fever, I don't know what that means. You want to be very specific. Give me numbers. Measurements are always specific. Okay? So you might want to say the patient walked halfway down the hallway and did well. That's great, but what if I don't know how long our hallway is? Maybe it would be better to say the patient walked 50 feet and did well while walking 50 feet. Again, a number is more precise, okay? So in the book, we're going to go over a couple of things. It says, under communication, the purple dots. Use words that mean the same thing to you and the messenger receiving it. Avoid words with more than one meaning. As far as, and it gives you an example, what does far mean? Like the patient went very far down the hallway. What does that mean? Did they go 50 feet? Did they go 100 feet? A better way of saying it would be, The patient walked 100 feet down the hallway. Don't use the word far. Don't use the word warm. Don't use the word hot. What does that mean? We need specific things like, their temperature is 100.6. Their pulse is 120. Okay, don't say the pulse is fast or the pulse is slow. It's 40. 40 means slow. Okay, so do not just say the pulse is slow. Give specific numbers. Use familiar words. Okay, avoid terms that the person and family do not understand. So don't use big fancy medical words on a patient or a family because they will not understand you. Use basic words. Okay, so the word elimination means to go to the bathroom. They might not understand that. So you might have to say, do you need to go to the bathroom? Because if you say, do you need to eliminate? They might not know what eliminate means. So instead you could say, do you need to go to the bathroom? Okay. Give information in a logical and orderly way. Organize your thoughts. So present them step by step. Give facts and be specific. So in the book, it gives you an example. Reporting a pulse rate that is 110 is more specific than saying the pulse is fast. So use concise, specific, descriptive words. Okay. And again, that is all on page 53 of your book under communication, the purple bullet points. Okay, then we're going to go down to the medical record on page 53. The medical record, also known as a chart, is a written or electronic account of a person's condition in response to treatment and care. So I always say the medical record is the Bible. Okay, it's the chart. It's the story of the patient. It is used by the health team to share information about the person. It's a permanent record. It's a legal record. Okay, so we use it as the health team, the nurses, the doctors, the physical therapists, the dietitian, the nursing assistant. We use it to share information. So there's areas where the nurse will write stuff, where the doctor will write stuff, where dietary will write stuff, but then whoever's taking care of that patient can go into that chart and see what those different professions are charting and saying about the patient. So it's a way to share the information. It tells the story of the patient. It is permanent. It cannot be changed. Okay, and it is legal and it can be used in a court of law. Each page of the medical record has to have the person's name, their room number, their bed number, and at least their date of birth. A lot of the hospitals and nursing homes also have what they call a medical record number. So it's a specific number to each patient. But at least the person's name, their room number, their bed number, and probably the date of birth should be included. Okay, so So looking underneath page 53 under medical record, again, it's a chart. It's a legal account of a person's condition in response to treatment and care. Okay, that is in purple under medical record. Make sure you know what the definition is. Know that it could be a paper or an electronic copy. Okay, an electronic copy is a version of the medical chart that's just electronic. So an electronic chart or an electronic health record is like a computer form of a medical record. Okay. It's an electronic version of the person's medical record. So it's also called an EMR, electronic medical report, or electronic health record. That is on page 53. There is a question about that. So make sure you understand that the medical record can be either a paper chart or an electronic chart. Okay. And make sure you understand that the health team uses the chart to share information about the person, that it's a permanent and legal documents. Okay, the next slide, which is right here, talks about agencies have policies about medical records and who can see them, who can use them, who can see them, who can write in them. Okay, so wherever you work, you need to know what the policy is about the medical record. Agencies will say who can see them, who can record in them, when to record, what abbreviations we can use, how to make the entries, like what format do they want us to do, and how do we make corrections. So anybody that's involved in a person's care can read and use the charts. So if you are a professional staff and you're involved in that person's care, you can be in that chart. You cannot be in a chart of a patient you are not assigned to or you're not giving care to. That is a violation of their confidentiality, and it also is a violation of their privacy. So only look at the charts that you are assigned to and the charts of the people that you are taking care of. Make sure you know what your policies and procedures for your facility are about that. It's your ethical and legal duty to keep that information confidential. So again, you should not share it with anybody that is not taking care of the patient. So don't tell your, friend who's a nursing assistant on a unit what you read about your patient in their charts if that friend is not assigned to that patient. Okay, be very careful because a lot of people get in trouble for sharing medical information. It's actually a federal offense and you can be fired from it. So make sure you understand that you should keep things confidential. So on page 53, it says agencies have policies about medical records and who can see them. Underneath that, it talks about follow your agency's policies. Make sure you know that. Professional staff that are involved in a person's care can review the charts. If you're not involved in a person's care, you have no right to read the person's chart. Page 53. Okay, and then we're going to go on to talk about the common parts of the medical chart. So common parts of the medical chart. The first part of the chart is usually the admission sheet. It's the identifying information of the patient. So this would be like the patient's name, their date of birth, their address, their phone number, their medical information, like their billing information, their insurance information, their emergency contacts. If they have allergies, it would be on there. Who is their doctor? The reason why they're there at the hospital or at the nursing home. So it's kind of like your information sheet, and it's in the front of the chart, and it's like the basic information that we need. Say if we have to send a person out in an emergency, we would go and grab that sheet and make a copy because it has all the basic information that you need to know. Their emergency contact, their phone number, their date of birth, their address, their billing information. So it's really, really important. And again, it's usually gotten on admission. Usually, like if you're being admitted to a hospital, they get that when they register you in the emergency room. The registration department gets it. And again, it's kept on the front of the chart. Okay, so it's gathered when the person is admitted to the agency and includes the person's identifying information again, their full name, their doctor, their date of birth, their medical allergies, their medical diagnoses, their medical insurance information, their contact information for their emergency contacts. Maybe if they have power of attorney, that's all on there. Okay, the next part is the health history. The health history is completed by the nurse. Make sure you know that. The health history is done by a nurse. The nurse will go in and talk with the patient and say, can you tell me about any current illnesses or past illnesses? So I'm going to ask them, have you ever been diagnosed with heart disease? Have you ever been diagnosed with lung disease? I'm going to ask them about their medications that they take. I'm going to ask them about any allergies they have. I'm going to ask them, why are they currently here? What is going on? How do you feel? What brought you to the hospital today? The signs and symptoms. Okay, so the health history is completed by a nurse. The nurse asks about current and past illnesses, signs and symptoms, allergies, and drugs. Again, it is a nurse that does the health history. Okay, the flow sheets and graphic sheets are where you record as a CNA. You guys record a lot in these sheets. It's where we record the care measures, meaning the care that we give. It's where we record our observations. How did the patient tolerate the care? What did the patient do when the care was given? And it's where we record measurements that we make each shift. So like, how much did the patient eat? How much did the patient urinate? Did the patient have bowel movements? And that's all. The urination and bowel movement, again, the word for that is elimination. So that's where we record the elimination that our patient is doing. Have they had diarrhea? Did they have a solid bowel movement? What color was their urine? How much urine did they have? We also record in there what they ate. We also record their weight, their height, their vital signs, temperature, pulse, blood pressure, respirations, okay, their pain level. So flow sheets and graphic sheets is a lot of where you will, that's probably the main part of the chart as a nurse's aide that you'll be in, and you'll be documenting it. Okay. Progress notes and nurses' notes. Progress notes are usually used by doctors, and the nurses' notes are where the nurse will document her information that she's been giving and the care that she's been giving. Okay, and usually we use it to record information about treatments, about drugs, and procedures. The progress notes are also used by physical therapists and speech therapy, or anybody that's called in on consults for the patient. So maybe the patient is having foot problems, so the regular doctor says, let's get a podiatrist, a foot doctor in. So then the foot doctor will come in and he'll write his notes in the progress notes. Okay, so It's usually used from doctors to physical therapists. Um, it's more the professional staff that take care of the patient that uses that. And nurses will read through there and see, what did the doctor say when he came to visit the patient? What was his observations? And the nurses also put their observations in there. So when the doctors do come to see the patients, they know what the nurses have been doing and what observations they have seen and how the patient's reacting. Okay, so that is your medical record. Make sure you know that the admission sheet is done on admission. When they come to the hospital, it has their identifying information. Make sure you know that the health history is completed by a nurse. It's not on your PowerPoint, but it's in your book, so make sure you know that. Know that flow sheets are where we document measurements like height and weights and eliminations and vital signs. It's the area that you would use the chart. And progress notes are used to record the information about treatments, drugs, and procedures, and also where doctors and other professional staff chart on the patients. Okay, and we're going to stop there, and then we'll pick up again. Tuesday is election day, so we don't have school. Wednesday is your remote day, so we won't have a lecture that day. But Thursday's lecture will be pages 54 through 57, slides 7 through 18, and I will record that and post it for you probably tomorrow. Okay, take care.